So the next game that I want to talk about briefly is Dion Coach Prime Sanders going up against Coach Rule, Matt Rule, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, I didn't even know that they were 23rd. They must have just went up. But they ended up blitzing Colorado 28 to 10 to take the W and go up to 2-0. They ended up scoring 28 points all in the first half. They didn't score no points in the second half, but they did just enough on defense to hold up the Colorado Buffaloes. In Colorado, they fall to 1-1. Dylan Raiola, the freshman, everybody calling him Patrick Mahomes. This dude right here, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. 23 of 30, 185 yards in a TD, played pretty good. Dante Dowdle played really good. 17 carries for 74 yards and 2 TDs. Ramir Johnson also played pretty good. 9 carries for 33 yards. He also had a touchdown as well, along with 49 receptions. They got a pick six. Tommy Hill had the interception, and they ended up getting a pick six off of Shadur Sanders. Shadur, he ain't really played too well, but one thing I will say, his offensive line needs help, and it's like that from last year. He was 23 of 38, 244, 1 TD, 1 INT, but he had to run for his life the whole entire game. Shout out to the Nebraska defense. They stepped up, and they were balling. They were balling on all cylinders, They couldn't get the run game going at all. Travis Hunter was obviously going to get his 10 catches, 110 yards. He didn't have a TD, but he was going to get his. But overall, other than that, nobody else played, good. Shiloh Sanders ended up getting hurt. I think he broke his forearm. He just had surgery, so hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But one thing I will say about Colorado, going back to week 1, going up against North Dakota State, when I saw that game was close, and yes, granted, North Dakota State is an FCS school. They're FCS champs, FCS powerhouse school. They're not like the bottom of the barrel FCS school. But the principle is they're an FCS school. Colorado's an FBS school. You should be able to put belt to ass on them. And the fact that they could not stop them, they could not stop the run game of North Dakota State, I knew that it was something. I knew that this was a red flag for what was to come. And sure enough, they go up against Nebraska, which I'm not saying Nebraska is a bad team, but if they go up against, Nebraska, if they go up against Ohio State or something like that, they're not going to win. If they go up against a big-time powerhouse school, Wisconsin, I don't think that they're going to win, And Colorado, it's like Colorado has all these expectations because of Coach Prom, and he doesn't have the O-line. If he has the O-line, maybe they may have a chance. They have good people. They have Jimmy Horn. They have Shadur Sanders. Dalen Hayden is pretty good, Shadur, obviously, we know what Shadur can bring to the table. But when you don't have the offensive line, if you continuously get pushed back on the offensive and defensive line, how are you going to be able to win football games? And that has been the problem last year. And they made their defensive line better, but the offensive line is still the same. It's still trash. It still fucking sucks. And that is going to be their downfall. That's going to be their downfall. And when you look at their schedule for the whole entire season, if they can't beat Nebraska, who knows? I don't know if they can beat Colorado State on the road. They're losing to Arizona. They're losing to Kansas State. They're losing to Oklahoma State. They're losing to Utah. They're losing to Kansas. They may lose to USF. Like, it's going to be tough for them. They got to get that O-line situated, point blank, period. And if they can't get that O-line situated, then I don't see them getting anywhere. So hopefully Dion can recruit that. But he has talent. Shadur is a talent. But I wonder who Dion is going to get after Shadur. Who is going to be that next quarterback? Who's going to be that next receiver that really steps up after Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter go? Who's going to be there? So, yes, like, Travis Hunter's gonna get his, and we know where he's gonna get picked. He's gonna get picked high in the NFL draft. We know what about Shadur, but Shadur's not gonna have that time in that pocket, and he's gonna keep on getting hit and hit and hit. Versus Dylan Raiola, he wasn't getting hit like that. He was getting pressure, but he wasn't getting hit like that. He was just standing in the pocket. And right then, when I knew it was something, when he had threw that pass over the middle and it got bobbled and it was caught by the receiver for the touchdown, that's when I knew, oh yeah, this game was over. This game was over. So it's like, if Colorado can't hang with Nebraska, I don't know who they can hang out with, especially if that O line don't get fixed. So Dion, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do on that O line. Shout out, good win for the Nebraska Corn Huskers and moving to 2-0.